Hey there. This is our replay of our Prompt Your Way to Profit AI Writing Masterclass. Now, in this training, we're going to walk you through the 3 simple AI prompts that writers are using to make 6 figures a year without their clients even knowing that they're using AI. But we also give you a full crash course on how we train ghostwriters in the digital age to position themselves for success, how to create irresistible offers, and even how to reach out to clients in a non-salesy way, because we're not believers in that. And if you already know that you're ready to build a profitable AI-driven ghostwriting business, you can actually book a one-on-one chat with my team right now so that we can just help you create a roadmap and get started. All you have to do is just click the link below this video to grab a spot. Okay, that's it, and enjoy the replay.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome in to Prompt Your Way to Profit. Cole, what's going on? How are we feeling today?
Half my coffee's kicked in. We're waiting for the other half, and pumped to talk about AI. On today's masterclass, this is going to be the most valuable free masterclass you've ever attended in your life. We are big believers in, if anyone here has ever joined some sort of free training or free masterclass, you know the feeling when someone gets up there and just waves their hands in the air and says, you got to try really hard and believe in yourself and do what you love and it'll all work out, right? It's a very frustrating feeling. We are not going to do that today. We are going to give you an entire crash course on AI, the opportunity of AI, ghostwriting, how it works, why ghostwriters are more in demand than ever, why AI ghostwriters are more efficient than ever, and we're going to give you some of the most mind-blowing AI writing prompts you have ever seen in your life. And I guarantee you by the end of this, you are going to be mind blown. So the 4 pillars we're going to cover are positioning, packaging, outreach, and fulfillment. And there's different pieces of each one. These are the 4 pieces that you need in order to run a lucrative AI ghostwriting business. This is how you can land premium clients. This is how you can unlock all the outcomes that you desire.
Yep. So all 4 pillars, we're going to give you prompts. We're going to give you basically every single thing you'd possibly need to implement all of these different pillars. So be on the lookout for those throughout. Other than that, we're also going to stick around at the end for a few people who want to take their next steps with us, and we'll show you what that looks like. So that sounds like a good agenda for everyone here. We're going to start with an AI crash course. Then we're going to work through all of the 4 pillars and show you prompts to actually put those pillars into practice. Let's get it going. First, I think we should start, though, with who we are. Cole, you want to give a quick rundown?
Yeah, so my name is Nicolas Cole. All my friends call me Cole. I've been writing on the internet forever. My first job out of college was working as a copywriter at an ad agency, making no money, trying to be a freelance writer on the side, charging $15, $20 to write blog posts. Not exactly the most fun period of my life. Fast forward 6 years, and starting in that, dinky little studio apartment, I fell into the world of ghostwriting. I started writing on the internet. I started writing about how I was ghostwriting. And I ended up building the first ghostwriting agency for founders and executives. I ended up becoming one of the most read writers on the internet. I've ghostwritten for hundreds and hundreds of different C-level execs and Silicon Valley founders and Bitcoin billionaires, and you name it, I've sat in the room. And I've also then gone and written 10 books. I've written about category design, digital writing, ghostwriting, why I'm such a big believer in writing on the internet. And I've also co-founded 2 of the biggest writing programs on the internet with Dickie here. The first being Ship 30 for 30, and the second being our Premium Ghostwriting Academy. And we've had over 12,000, 13,000 students at this point go through both of them. So it's been a ride.
Quite a ride. And Cole underplays some of the crazy people that he's written for. Obviously, the nature of ghostwriting means you can't obviously share that, but you can see him with a couple there. And then he's also underplayed the success of his agency, generating $3.7 million over the span of 4 years. And just quite incredible what you've been able to do. But I think most importantly, we're on the same mission here. Cole's mission, as well as mine, is to help 1 million people make a living writing online. So we want to thank everyone here for being part of that mission and helping us get one step closer. My background, a little bit different. My name's Sticky Bush. Yes, everyone does actually call me that. I always have to preface that it's not a fake name. I did not have a degree in fiction writing. I had a degree in engineering from Princeton, and I did not like to write at all in college. In fact, it was one of my least favorite things in the world. When I graduated, I took what I thought would be my dream job at BlackRock. Here was my business card. After about 6 months, I hated it. Here's me actually on my first day. I went and found this picture. I was as excited as ever to wear a polo shirt and get into work, but 3 or 4 months in, I realized I did not want someone telling me when and where I could be, what I could work on. God forbid I had to do another internal compliance training. I just knew that the path of working a 9 to 5 was not going to be it for the rest of my life. So I started to plot my escape from my 9 to 5 by writing online. This tweet is from July 29th, 2020, when I hit my first 100 followers on X. And 3 months later, some of my writing started to take off, and the first $5,000 from one of my ghostwriting clients hit my account. The story of that is far too long for us to go into this webinar, but the most important part of it was the person that I ghost wrote for actually led me to meet my business partner, Cole, here. So if you look closely on this email, it says Nicolas Cole Dickey Bush Connect in October 11th of 2020, which was 2 days before this $5,000 wire hit. So that was just about the same time. And it says, not sure why, but I think you two should know each other. And the rest is history. So since then, Cole and I have built multiple businesses together. I've become one of the most read writers on X and LinkedIn, 400,000 followers on X and 140,000 on LinkedIn. And since then, I'm on the same mission as Cole to help as many people as possible earn a living writing online. So if you're a 9 to 5er who wants a new path, my story might resonate a little bit with you. If you're a freelancer making less than you're worth, Cole's story might make a little bit more sense and resonate more with you. Either way, our goal here today, extremely simple, unlock the full freelance writing potential for each and every one of you here with us today. Like Caroline. Caroline's one of our students from the Premium Ghostwriting Academy who just submitted one of these stories where she went and took her parents to the Athens Riviera. She paid for everything, flights, accommodations, taxis, meals, and every single one of those euros was made through ghostwriting. She's been one of our very successful students. Or Joe here, moving on to my next phase in a stronger position, who says, I'm not a freelancer, I'm now a ghostwriter. I have a specific offer. I name my price, and the PGA team has helped me get there. Or Charlie. Charlie is one of my favorite stories. She joined PGA in July 2024, said she was an idiot right when she joined, but ended up landing her first client in 17 days. She's now 8 months in, made my investment back and then some. First program I've joined where I can say that. But more than that, I've learned a new skill set that's going to allow me to eventually leave my 9 to 5, and hundreds of others that have all followed the same process. So that's our game plan for today's webinar. We're going to get through a ton. But before we get into that, this is a two-way street. So Cole and I, we're going to bring our absolute A level for you guys today. We're going to show you basically every single thing you would need to know to implement the 4 pillars we're going to talk about. But nothing pains us more than when someone encounters a life-changing framework and then does nothing with it. And so that's all we want today. And I want you to keep this definition in mind as we go through it. Learning equals same condition, different behavior. So if you leave this webinar today and you do not change the things you do in the real world as a freelancer, you've basically wasted your time. So we don't want that to happen. So as we go through everything today, all we ask for in exchange is to bring your best in everything and see yourself actually put what we talk about into practice today. So don't just listen passively, actively take notes, soak in what we talk about, begin to picture the world where you're getting paid what you're worth, working with clients that love you, all while AI does 80% of the work. So you can unlock a ton of freedom, work from anywhere, all the good things that come with having a successful freelance writing business. So with that game plan, can we move forward with this agreement in place? Put your learning hat on, take what we have to say seriously. Don't just make this a passive learning webinar. And if you're ready to rock and roll, can you prove it with a simple yet powerful gesture of saying I'm in the chat? And then we can kick this off. Let's get it going. I'm in. Barry says I'm in. John says I'm in. Marcus says I'm in. Teresa, Kate, Sonia, Katie, Tiffany, Rashad, Shelly, Andrea, Mary, Milan, Jamie. All right, y'all. That's clearly signal that you guys are in, ready to rock and roll, ready to take the next steps on your freelance writing career. So Cole, I know we got a lot to cover. Let's do it.
Okay. So I hope everyone is ready to be mind blown. If you want to take notes throughout this, you're welcome to. However, we just want to remind, yes, this is being recorded. Yes, we will distribute the recording afterwards. All of the prompts that we're going to cover, if you're showing up live here, we're going to give you the prompts. Okay. I cannot stress enough. This is not just like, I'm not just saying this. If I had had access to what we are going to share with you right now, 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have gone to college and I would have made a lot more money a lot faster. Okay. So I'm telling, like, for everyone here, please make the most of this hour, these 90 minutes. If you have questions along the way and they line up with the slides that we're on, we'll try and answer them as we go. But I'm like this, I guarantee this will be the most valuable masterclass you ever attend. On top of that, the prompts that we're giving you for free, I know we could go sell for thousands of dollars. So for everyone here, I just want you to understand this is not some 3 sentence prompt that we're giving you just for the sake of it. Okay. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we're going to give you a crash course on AI because chances are, even if you're experimenting with AI, you probably aren't using it to your full potential. Second is we're going to walk you through 4 of the most insane prompts you've probably ever seen. And we're going to explain why they're written the way that they are and how they work. And again, afterwards, we will share the prompts with you. You're welcome to use them. You can copy paste them. You can use them for yourself. You can use them with clients, whatever you want. They're yours for free. And then third is we're going to give you a little crash course on just what it takes to build a successful one-person premium ghostwriting business. Okay. And because those pieces are just as important as the AI component. And we'll answer any questions you have at the end. All right. Sound good? Everyone on board?
Let's do
Okay.
it.
Let's dive in. So first of all, anyone here like notice just every time you open up an app that you just see AI everywhere? So I can tell you, I'm dating myself a little bit, but I've gone through these different gold rushes a couple times now. Okay. I remember starting a blog back in 2006, 2007, and everyone saying that blogs were a trend and they were weird. And if you had a blog, you were just some person living in your mom's basement and you weren't going anywhere in life. And then guess what? 3 years later, blogs were the most popular thing on the internet, and anyone with a blog was just printing money, right? So I remember that. I then also remember when Facebook first came out with their ads platform in 2011, 2012. And I remember I was working at an ad agency at the time. I remember everyone was like, oh, Facebook ads, that's weird. Magazines are never going away. Billboards are still going to crush. TV is always going to be the default, right? Guess what? 3 years later, Facebook ads ate everybody's lunch, right? I have watched this same pattern 4 or 5 times in my career as a writer over the past 10, 15 years. And unequivocally, we are going through the same thing right now. And this is the AI gold rush. Okay. So what that means is it is eating everything. And so you either get on board or you don't, and you miss the boat, just like people did with blogs back in the mid 2000s, just like people did with Facebook ads, right? So what are the opportunities here? Well, first of all, and I know because I've been in like very specifically thought leadership, personal brand marketing since 2010. Okay. I built the first agency that called it thought leadership marketing. I built one of the first agencies that specialized in personal branding for executives. So I know this very well. And every single year, demand from business owners and founders and investors and speakers and authors and executives, every single year, demand for those people wanting to build their personal brand on the internet goes up. Does anyone here not think that's true? Just look around. Every single business owner on planet Earth wants an audience, right? So what does that mean? That means they need someone to write for them because they're running a company. They don't have time for this, right? On top of that, what's the other side of the opportunity? It's that ad costs and how much it costs to acquire customers with paid ads is going up. Facebook ads came out in 2012, right? It's 2025. Every single year, ad costs go up. So if you go and talk to any of these business owners or any marketers, they'll all tell you, man, it's getting more and more expensive to acquire customers. So what do they want to do instead? What they want to do is they want to build organic followings. They want to collect emails not based on paid ads. So what does that mean? That means you have to figure out how to do that. And what's the best way to do that? You hire a writer, right? Do you think these business owners are going to figure this out on their own? Do you think every small business owner on planet Earth is like, oh, now I know I need to go build my personal brand and I need to get better at email marketing and I need to go do all these things? Do you think they're just going to wake up tomorrow and do that? Of course not. They need help, right? And that is the opportunity. It is the fact that there are more businesses in the world than you could wrap your head around. You don't need 1,000 clients. You don't need 100 clients. You need 2 clients. There's more opportunity than we could possibly understand. On top of that, Every company now is saying that they are an AI first company. So has anyone here seen this? You starting to see these announcements happen more and more? CEO of Shopify, we're an AI first company now. Duolingo, we're an AI first company now. CEO of Fiverr, we're an AI first company now. So what does that mean, right? What is this a signal of? It means that every single career is going to get augmented by AI. It is no longer enough to just be a developer. Now you have to be an AI developer. It's no longer enough to be a product manager. Now you have to be an AI project manager. It's no longer enough to be a ghostwriter. You now have to be an AI ghostwriter. And I can prove it with a very simple example. Okay, so for everyone here, let's say a client wants some blog content. Which writer are they going to hire? Which writer are they going to choose? Are they going to choose the legacy freelance writer who is constantly pulling their hair out and they're really frazzled and they're already trying to manage 3 or 4 different clients and they're behind on edits for that other client, and then they're talking to this new client and the new client's like, hey, when can you get me something? And they're like, I don't know, sometime next week. Or is it going to be the AI writer, the AI ghostwriter who goes, yeah, no problem. Oh, that's the topic you want to write about? Sure, I got a whole Claude project set up and I've got a bunch of templates that I use. And here, I'll send you something in an hour. Which writer is going to win the opportunity? It is always going to be the AI writer. The same thing is true with, I want to start a weekly newsletter, or I want to start writing social content, or whatever the thing is. Do you think they're going to choose the legacy writer who takes a week to get back to them? Or are they going to choose the AI writer who can get back to them in an hour with 3 different samples with 3 different voice variations for them to choose from? They're always going to pick the AI writer. And this is the big idea. This is one of the big things for everyone here. Write this down, put it on a note card, duct tape it to your desk. I don't care. Whatever you got to do to remind yourself of it. Okay. Everyone has it wrong. AI is not going to steal your job as a writer. AI writers are going to steal your job. And that's the big distinction. Everyone thinks that the technology is going to remove writers. That's not what's going to happen. It's that AI writers are going to soak up all the opportunity, and all the people who don't want to embrace AI are just going to slide down the hill. And I've lived through enough of these cycles to know this, it happens every time. It happened with blogs, happened with Facebook ads, happened with influencer marketing. It's happening again right now with AI.
Which means all of your future earning potential is based on whether or not you can leverage AI. So, like Cole said, AI is not going to replace writers, but writers who use AI will replace those who don't. That is the big POV of what we're talking about today. So, to capitalize on this AI ghostwriting gold rush, you need 2 things. First, you need to learn to use AI correctly so it yields high quality output. For anyone here that's ever put in a 1 or 2 sentence prompt into ChatGPT and got a result that was like, I cannot believe someone would actually go and post this, that's because you're not prompting it correctly. And we're going to give you every single piece to write a successful prompt. And you're going to go, I cannot believe AI wrote that. And in fact, I can't even tell. I can't tell if that was AI or if that was a person. So first, you need to learn to prompt correctly. Second, you need to learn the 4 pillars of running a profitable 1-person ghostwriting agency, regardless of whether or not you use AI. So for the many, many years before this, these were the 4 pillars that would let anyone who wanted to start a ghostwriting business get started, land clients, fulfill on those clients, outreach to potential clients, etc. But now, when you combine these 2, you become an AI ghostwriter. So all the prompts we were going to walk you through today are how to actually put these 4 pillars into practice at 10 times the speed of what you've been able to do historically without it. So if you combine these 2 skills, you are a part of the AI ghostwriting gold rush. You know how to prompt and you know how to land clients. Combining those 2 together, and you will absolutely demolish all the freelance writing competition out there. So that's what we're going to cover today. Let's get into it.
Yep. Does that make sense, everyone? Maybe just drop a quick yes. Just quick pause. Are we all on the same page? Everyone following? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Because I know we're going to pick up speed. We're going to keep just chunking through these ideas. So I want to make sure we're all following.
That's just a start. All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's tip of the iceberg. All right, let's go a little deeper. Let's do a quick crash course on how AI works, because chances are, if you've been using AI, you're probably not using it either correctly or as well as you can, because prompting is sort of a new art form in and of itself. right? So here's what bad AI writing looks like. Okay. So this is a little prompt at the top. You can see the NC. That means that this is inside my account here. And let's say I prompt Claude or ChatGPT. We always get this question, what are the big three? It's Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. They all basically do similar things. They all give similar outputs, but those are the big three, right? So this is Claude. And the prompt is, I need help writing social content for a client of mine. She works in health and wellness. Write me 3 really great social posts that she'll love. Now, do me a favor, everyone, drop in the chat. Do we think that these posts that AI came up with are really great? Yes or no? Are these really great social posts that the client's going to love? Okay. Unanimously, we think no. Why not? Right? Why not? Do you think it might be because of the hashtags we haven't seen since 2009? Do you think that maybe it's because of the emojis that don't seem to really make any sense and feel like we're texting our, cousin who's in 8th grade? Like, why are these social posts not that great? We all can recognize it, but the problem is that you give AI a weak prompt and then it spits back a very weak and vague output like this. And then everyone sort of throws their hands in the air and goes, I guess AI isn't very good. I guess AI can't write like me, right? And here's the next big idea. This is another, write it down on a note card and put it on your desk. Everyone wants to automate things they haven't done before, which means you can't automate what you can't articulate. Okay? So a lot of times people think that the bottleneck to using AI is knowing how to use AI. That's actually not the real bottleneck. The bottleneck to using AI is being able to articulate how you want done what it is you want done, which fundamentally means that there is a learning component, there is a knowledge component. So there's a little bit of irony when people say, why should I spend time building these skills when AI is just going to replace it all? Well, could everyone do me a favor here and let me know which key on the keyboard I'm supposed to just mash with my face and then it just magically does everything? Could everyone just let me know? Because I've been trying to find the one key and I can't find it. I keep pressing one keys and I don't know. I just can't find it, right? So that's the irony, is everyone thinks that it's just, oh, AI does it all for me, but that's not what happens. You have to actually have knowledge and you have to actually articulate that knowledge, right? So what is the difference between bad AI and good AI? Well, bad AI writing is very general language. You're not actually being specific about what it is that you're looking for. It also uses what I like to call subjective directions, which means it's open to interpretation. If I say, hey, write me 3 really great social posts, if I ask 10 people here to define really great, I'm going to get 10 different definitions, right? That means it's a subjective direction. It also leans on implied formats or intuitive decisions, right? So a lot of times if you look at people's prompts, what's happening is they actually don't know exactly what they're trying to articulate, and they're just hoping AI fills in the gaps. That means you're leaning on AI's intuition. That's a problem, right? And then they don't use examples, and they don't ask very clearly, this is what I would like for you to present back to me. So notice there's actually a lot of sub-skills that go into prompting. Good AI writing is basically the opposite of all of those. You want to be very specific in the language that you use. You want to give objective directions. There is no room for interpretation. You want to be very clear about the format, the rules of the format, the attributes of the format. You want to give exact examples that align with the rules of the format to reinforce the learning. And then you want to be very explicit about what you want AI to spit back to you. Okay? So this is what good AI writing should look like. So here's an example of one of the prompts that we're going to walk you through. This is not the full prompt. This is the intro to the prompt. But notice how specific we're being. I want you to create a week's worth of thought leadership short form social content that could fit inside of a standalone X post, 280 characters or less. I would like you to return it back to me with these time slots, right? But not just really great social posts. I want you to do it based on these formats that I'm going to train you on. So notice how you have to speak to the technology the same way that if you went and hired a copywriter, a ghostwriter, an intern, a researcher, If you went and hired someone and you said, I want to teach you exactly how to write the way that I've been writing, you would have to break down your writing into lots of subvariables and then sub-subvariables. That is the art of prompt writing and AI writing, okay? Which means another big idea, your value as a writer is not just your ability to sit down and light a candle, put on a chapeau, smoke your corncob pipe, drink some coffee, and then magical, amazing words fall out of your fingertips, right? That's not your value. Your value is being able to articulate how you do what you do. And if you don't build that skill, if you don't have the ability to articulate how you write what you write, you will never leverage AI. You will never get leverage on your skills. Okay. So does that make sense? Quick little just understanding, like there's a lot that actually goes into prompting and learning how to write effective prompts. It's not just ask AI one sentence. Okay. So this makes sense. Well, here's the rub. It's what I said, though, is that the bottleneck is not actually you being an expert in ChatGPT or an expert in Claude or an expert in Gemini or an expert in how all these AI platforms work. The way that you leverage AI as a writer and the way that you build a really efficient, really profitable one-person ghostwriting business is that it's not just about prompting. It's all of the knowledge that you need in order to write effective prompts, right? Which means there's 4 big things that you need to learn how to do. There's 4 pillars to success. And we know, because I've gone through it, Dickie's gone through it, we've trained thousands and thousands of writers on it. There's 4 things you got to learn how to do. There's positioning, there's packaging, there's outreach, and there's fulfillment. Okay. So whether you even use AI or not, most writers don't even know this. So how are you supposed to get leverage on something that you don't know how to do? It's impossible. Everyone wants to automate things they've never done before. So let's walk through these different pillars. And then here's the cool part. Thanks everyone for showing up live. Not only are we going to show you how to do it with AI, but we're just going to give you the mega prompt that we built for ourselves to do it. So it's like, yeah, I want to give you the fish, but I also want to teach you how to fish too. Does that make sense?
So back to what we started with on turning this into an active learning experience. If you're one of those people writing and taking notes to soak the most out of these are the 4 things to write down: positioning, packaging, outreach, and fulfillment. We're going to go step by step through each of these, how positioning, packaging, outreach, and fulfillment as a ghostwriter is far different than a freelance writer. And then I just cannot wait until you guys see these prompts, because chances are there's how you thought prompting was before this webinar and then afterwards. And it's just going to be a completely different experience for all of you. So without further ado, keep your learning hats on and let's get into it.
Yeah. And one final thing, just a little asterisk for everyone here. Again, I've lived this problem. I've seen this with thousands of writers. If you are currently not making 10 grand a month or more as a freelance writer, as a ghostwriter, as whatever service you're providing as a writer, I guarantee you it's because you have a problem in one of these 4 areas. It's either a positioning problem, a packaging problem, an outreach problem, or a fulfillment problem. Most often, it's not just one, it's actually multiple or all 4. Okay. So think of AI as the leverage, right? But you can't leverage something that's broken. So you have to fix the thing that's broken and then add AI into it, right? So that's why these components are so important. So let's start with positioning, okay? And then I'm going to walk you through the positioning prompt that we built and that we're going to give you. Here's the first big idea you need to wrap your head around. When you hear the term freelance writer, who comes to mind? Drop in the chat. Just give a little description. What are some words? What are some things that come to mind when you hear the word freelance writer? Do you maybe envision like a mid-20 something? They're at a coffee shop. They got like 87 tabs open. They haven't washed the screen of their laptop in like 2 years, so there's all those like spit freckles everywhere. The waiter keeps coming over and he's like, "Hey, would you like a sandwich?" And the freelance writer's like, that sandwich is like $17. Like I just charged $17 to write this blog post about liposuction. I don't really want to just buy a sandwich with it, right? Like do all those things come to mind? Okay, no shade. I was that writer. I know. I lived this problem. I know, right? And so what you have to understand is that when you call yourself a freelance writer, This is what is happening in the other person's mind. Words matter. So what you call yourself matters. And so if you call yourself a freelance writer, you might as well be raising your hand and saying, hey, I fell into this thing. I have no idea what I'm doing. My parents don't understand my career path either. I make minimum wage. I'm burned out. I have 6 different clients telling me to write 6 different things. That's what you're saying, right? When you hear the term ghostwriter, what comes to mind? Well, it's sort of interesting when you just change what you call yourself, immediately the perceived value changes. Oh, you're not a freelance writer, you're a ghostwriter. Oh, you have expertise. You have a specialized skill. You work directly with really smart people. I'm telling everyone here, the day I stopped calling myself a freelance writer and started calling myself a ghostwriter, I immediately charged and made 10 times more money. And I'm not exaggerating that. I went from charging $100 for blog posts to charging $1,000 for an article, a thought leadership article. Guess what? It was the same thing. It was the same exact thing, but the perceived value changed. Okay. And so why does that happen? Why are ghostwriters able to command a premium? Because ghostwriters aren't really just writers. They're really business consultants who happen to know how to write. They happen to know how to solve the problems that they're educating the client on with writing. Okay. So a freelance writer goes, hey, I'm on Upwork. I charge $30 an hour. Let me know what you need. A premium ghostwriter goes, hey, I went through your funnel. I noticed that you don't have an onboarding sequence. I noticed that there's a couple things that you're missing. That's causing you to leave money on the table. I recommend solving those things. And by the way, I'm happy to help you. Those are 2 massively different experiences, right? But we can hear the objection, right? As anyone sitting there going, okay, Dickie, Cole, yeah, I get it, but how am I supposed to know how to reposition myself as a premium ghostwriter? That sounds really hard. It's not. It's actually very easy if you have a good prompt for it. So we're going to show you how to do this with AI. So first of all, for everyone here who attended live, we're sharing all of these prompts that we're walking through. And one of them, we're not going to walk through now, but we're giving it to you, is called a pre-positioning interview prompt. So if you have absolutely no idea what industry you want to write in, you don't know where you want to specialize, like you are starting from absolute ground zero, I recommend going through this little interview prompt. Basically, AI interviews you and then helps you clarify, what's a good industry or area for you to niche down, okay? But for anyone here who maybe you're already writing for clients in a specific industry, right? All you really need is the high-level industry. Now, I want to show you this prompt that we engineered. This is our positioning consultant prompt. So notice how in the intro we say, you're a positioning consultant, specifically for freelance writers who want to niche down as ghostwriters. I'm going to give you the industry and the service I want to specialize in, and I would like you to present back to me positioning upgrade, number 1, a list of 30 even more specific niches in that industry where I could find potential clients. Upgrade number 2, a constellation of tangentially related industries, so you can see how much opportunity you actually have. And then 3, I want you to help me write just a very clear short bio. Okay, so that's pretty cool. This in and of itself is a great mini prompt, but that's not where we stop. Right? What we do then is we go into each individual positioning upgrade and we explain, here are the rules. Here's exactly what I want you to do. For example, here are some examples, right? There's 6 different ways you can niche down. You can niche down by sub-industry, by demographic, by experience level, by price point, by problem, by location. And that's just for one of the upgrades. So does everyone see how specific we're being? And I just want to scroll so everyone can see here, right? This is the full prompt, okay? Here's the intro. Here's positioning upgrade number 1. Here's positioning upgrade number 2. And here's positioning upgrade number 3. This is like a short essay. So can everyone do me a favor, drop in the chat? Are you currently writing prompts this in-depth? Or is this making you realize, oh, there's levels to this. I could push this way further. Yeah, exactly, right? We told you this was going to be the most valuable free masterclass you ever attended in your life. So look, I'm going to take this prompt and I'm going to copy paste it. And at the end, we're saying, are you ready for my industry and ghostwriting service? So here's Claude. You could use ChatGPT. You could use Gemini, whatever you want. I'm going to copy paste it into Claude here. Okay. We're going to run the prompt. Now let's open source this. Someone drop in the chat the industry that you want to be a ghostwriter in, or that you currently are writing for clients in. Maybe it's the automotive industry. Maybe it's healthcare. Oh, healthcare. There you go. Maybe it's health and wellness. Maybe it's real estate associations. Cool. Okay. Law office. That's great. So here's a little pro tip for everyone. The way that you get the most out of these prompts is that you try and get as specific as possible. So let's use something like, actually, biohacking is a really good one. Let's use biohacking. Thanks, Shannon. So here's a follow-up. Is there anything that we could add that would make biohacking more specific? So is it biohacking for serial entrepreneurs? Or is it biohacking for stay-at-home moms who just had their second kid and want to get their health back on track? Right? What are some options? And anyone feel free to throw them out. What are some options? Okay, for influencers and entrepreneurs. Perfect. Okay, so industry equals biohacking for influencers and entrepreneurs. Perfect. And I'm going to say the service, the ghostwriting service is, do you have one, Shannon? Do you have a specific service that you like to provide or that you specialize in? If not, we can just add one in. Online sales copywriting? Community building? All right.
Well, I go with the ones we recommend.
All right. Let's go, because I would recommend changing that and to change that to social media ghostwriting. All right. So let's see what the positioning consultant comes up with here. All right. Here's your complete positioning strategy. So just to show you how much opportunity there is, look at all these sub industries and all these sub demographics and all these experience levels and all these price points that you could target, right? You could do biohacking for luxury wellness service providers, for high ticket coaching programs, for premium supplement companies. So here's a ton of opportunity for you, right? Then here's a constellation of tangentially related industries. So this is a really important point I want to explain. Whenever someone niches down, their biggest objection is, I don't want to get too specific. But what happens is you actually end up attracting all of these tangential industries as well. So you could work with fitness or wellness or health or nutrition or meditation or personal trainers, right? Clean beauty, even plant medicine, longevity clinics. And then here it writes 3 different versions of a short form bio for you. I ghostwrite social media content for biohacking influencers and entrepreneurs. Great. If you're not saying that in your bio, you're making a mistake. People don't know. People don't know that that's what you provide, right? Here's an even more niche down positioning, and here's a problem solution positioning. So what would have taken you maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sitting there going, what is my identity as a writer, right? Well, now you just use this mega prompt and it spits out a bunch of options for you to choose from, and it immediately gives you clarity over how much opportunity you have. So what do we think? Is that pretty cool?
I'd say so. That's all I know. Is before you showed me this prompt, I've never seen ChatGPT or Claude or any AI give me this level of detail, which just shows once you know how to prompt. I know we asked earlier if anyone was writing prompts like this. Most people said no. But once you see a prompt like this, I have a feeling most people here are the types of people that once they see a roadmap, once they see an example of something that they hadn't seen previously, they can reverse engineer and follow it. So exactly. I already know that this is going to be a big upgrade for people, and that's only one prompt. We still got 3 more.
Yeah. So I want to keep flying through this because these are really cool. And for everyone here, again, you have them, you can play with them, experiment with them, but we just want to show you high level how this works. Pillar number 2 is packaging. I guarantee you, if you are on this masterclass right now, you probably have a packaging problem. Not because you're doing anything wrong or you're not talented or none of those things. It's just because no one teaches you the business of how to do this, right? No one ever explains the packaging of how do you provide services as a writer, okay? So here's the big mistake. The big mistake is that most freelance writers, the reason they're burned out, the reason that they're underpaid, the reason that they don't have any pricing power is because they fall into this trap of writing anything for anyone. Okay. So that means here's my portfolio, here's my Upwork or Fiverr profile. Let me know what you need. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Okay. And so the reason that these writers struggle is because they don't have an irresistible offer. They don't have a productized, repeatable service. They don't give the client and sell them on a very clear list of deliverables. They don't have an easy to say yes to packaging. If you don't make it really easy for clients to say yes, guess what? They're not going to say yes. They don't use price anchoring. And they don't ever even consider the option of offering a prepayment discount at the beginning. Why? Pull cash forward and reduce churn. It's extremely effective, right? So let's do, this is what I like to call the tale of two writers. Here are two different writers. Freelance writer, here's my portfolio. I charge $30 an hour. Let me know what you need. Now, little moment of honesty, everyone, okay? Drop in the chat if this is currently you. Just say me. And it's okay, no judgment. That's why you're here, and we're going to help you fix it, okay? But chances are, a lot of you are doing this right now. And that is why you're sitting there going, I don't understand. I guess writing must not be lucrative. I promise it can be. You just have to fix these things, okay? Premium ghostwriters, thank you for the honesty, Howard and Jeffrey and Susan. I know it's not just 3 of you. It's probably 98% of you, but that's okay. I appreciate the honesty. Premium ghostwriters do the complete opposite. They go, here's an irresistible offer that I specialize in. I have a productized, repeatable service. I have a clear, tangible offer stack. I give you a project timeline. I price anchor. I give you context to why this is so valuable. I make it very easy for you to say yes. It's a packaged service. And I pull cash forward and reduce churn by offering a prepayment discount. Okay? So does this make sense? So there's 8 different ghostwriting services that you could offer. Now, just high-level education, these are all options, right? You could get into book ghostwriting. You could get into speech ghostwriting. You could ghostwrite thought leadership articles, video scripts, pitch decks. But there's really 3 that we recommend. We actually don't recommend all 8. The 3 we recommend, and the reason we recommend them is because they are directly attached to the 3 things that every single business on planet Earth wants help with. Every single business on planet Earth wants to drive high-quality traffic. How do you do that? Creating organic social content. In order to do that, who do you need? You need a social ghostwriter. Every business on planet Earth wants to collect more emails and wants to nurture those people via email. What do they need to do? They need to send more emails. Who do they need? They need a newsletter ghostwriter. And every single business on planet Earth struggles to increase the opt-in rate of however they're capturing email subscribers. What do they need to do? They need to build a free, really valuable opt-in. Who do they need to do that? They need an educational email course ghostwriter. Okay? So these are the 3. These 3 services are what we recommend for all writers because they are everywhere. Opportunities are everywhere. They're very lucrative. They're very easy projects to deliver on, right? And they're not as complicated as a lot of the other services that you could pick.
But Cole, how am I going to do that? How am I going to put together that irresistible productized package service? I have no clue. I've never sold one of those things before. What do I do?
This is, I couldn't be more excited to share this with everyone because I think this is one of the coolest prompts that we've ever engineered. Truthfully, I'm not just saying that. So let's use AI. Let's go into our services packaging prompt. You are a ghostwriting services packaging pro, and I want you to help me come up with all of these different things. So let's look at how long this prompt is real quick. This is a whole packaged offer I want your help with. I want you to spit it out like this. Here's an example. Okay, are you ready? Everyone ready? We're going to throw this in here. This is mind-blowing. All right, let's do another example. Drop in the chat. What is an industry that you are writing in or an industry that you want to specialize in as a writer, as a ghostwriter? And is there a service that you want to specialize in?
Drop in the chat. Someone's going to get a free consultation here.
Oh, food trucks is cool. Industry, food trucks and service. Let's do a weekly newsletter ghostwriting. All right, everyone ready to see how this works? 1, 2, 3.
Thinking.
Street food spotlight package. Here's your newsletter autopilot package. So grow your food truck following without lifting a finger. Here are all the things you're going to do for them. You're going to do a brand voice assessment, analyzing existing communications and food truck personality to craft a distinctive newsletter voice that resonates with your audience. Culinary content calendar, that's pretty cool. Location tracker setup, I'll implement a system for announcing your upcoming locations and schedule changes. That's really cool. Menu spotlight template, so every time the menu changes, we can send that out to subscribers. Customer story frameworks, food photography guidance, seasonal campaign planning, competitor differentiation. Wow. Suddenly it doesn't seem so unreasonable for you to charge $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 for this, right? You're like, oh, that's actually a lot. That's really cool. Here's the project timeline. Here's what we're going to do every month. Awesome. Here's how we're going to price anchor. This is my favorite part. Food truck businesses face unique challenges: inconsistent customer traffic, weather dependencies, constant need to communicate changing locations and menus. Many food truck owners spend 5 or 10 hours per week managing their marketing and communications. If you were to hire a part-time marketing assistant to do this, you'd be looking at 25, 30 bucks an hour. That's $1,000, $1,200 per month, and they likely wouldn't have specialized food industry knowledge or writing expertise. The average food truck that fails to effectively communicate with customers loses this much in potential sales per week. That's $2 to $4 grand per month in lost revenue. Notice how important it is to price anchor before you present the package service. You're like, or you can hire me and I'll do everything for you. And I have 2 different packages. We have package number 1, Street Food Spotlights, $1,500 a month, or Food Truck Fame, $2,500 a month. Here's what you get. Here's the different bullets. And by the way, prepayment discount, I'll give you a little 15% discount if you prepay for all of this, you pull all of this forward. I just want to reiterate to everyone that what AI just did here in about 15 seconds is what I got paid tens of thousands of dollars to consult other people on how to do. So you just got it all for free. Now, why did you get it for free? What is the bottleneck? Is the bottleneck knowing how to use AI? No, of course not. The bottleneck is knowing how to write a prompt with this level of detail. That is why the learning component is so valuable. So if you're sitting there and you're like, wow, these prompts are really cool. I want to write more of these prompts. I want to create more of these things. Well, what's the bottleneck? The bottleneck is your own knowledge. You have to learn all of these things so that you can automate them, so that you can articulate them. Is that pretty cool? Prompt number 2. We all like that? Wow, you get that for free. You have a free packaging consultant for the rest of your life.
Just to double click on that before we dive into the third one, Cole, you can either learn these skills yourself or you can work with people like you who have spent 10, 15 years learning that such that you can then write a prompt. It's like the story of, I think it was either Dali or one of the famous artists. He signed a napkin one time in a store.
Yep.
Someone was like, how are you going to be able to sell that for $10,000? It took you 5 seconds. He's like, yes, but it took me 50 years to make it worth that much.
Yep.
And that's basically when you start to work with mentors who have all of this industry knowledge that then turn it into a prompt, you get to borrow all of that experience, which actually puts the return on working with people further ahead of you higher than it's ever been in basically human history.
Yep. Yeah, I love this comment too from Writerly, whoever that is anonymously in the chat. I was skeptical, but this info is legit. Yeah, to be perfectly honest with everyone here, okay? This is not just some like, hey, we're trying to capitalize on the AI trend and wave our hands in the air and be like, isn't this cool, right? I have been living and breathing this stuff for 15 years. We just love talking about this. And we also feel very strongly that writing is one of the most valuable skills you could possibly acquire in the age of AI. What do you need to know how to do to use AI? You have to know how to write. It is literally the most valuable skill. So that is why we feel so strongly about it. Now, if you think the packaging prompt is cool, the outreach prompt is going to blow your mind, okay? There's only 4 ways to land clients. So for everyone here, you're like, all right, this all makes sense. Cool, cool, cool. But how am I supposed to land clients? Okay. There's only 4 ways. There's cold outreach, where you reach out to people and you pitch your services. There's organic content, which leads to warm inbound. So you build an audience, you publish things, and then every once in a while, someone sends you a message and is like, hey, I could use your help, right? There's ads, and there's referral, affiliate partnerships, word of mouth, that whole sort of thing, right? Here's the problem, though. Referral and word of mouth basically is a strategy called sit around and wait. You don't have a lot of control over that. Ads cost a lot of money. It also takes a long time to learn how to run profitable ads. Ads are hard. Ads are hard. Organic content is pretty good, but it takes a while, right? You don't just write one post and then all of a sudden you have 20 clients, right? Organic content is a long tail game. It takes a while. So what's left? The lever that gives you the most control and leads to the fastest outcomes is cold outreach. It just is. Okay. And I know that that's probably not what you want to hear. Every freelance writer's objection is, I don't want to reach out to people. I don't want to be salesy. That sounds horrible. Okay. Well, what if it didn't have to be like that? Okay. What if I told you that there was a way to reach out to people that is seen as really helpful, is more likely to get the person to respond, and immediately positions you as a premium business consultant who just happens to know how to write? Okay. And this is the thing, is that cold outreach, it's not that cold outreach is some bad thing. It's that most people just don't know how to do it well. And the method that I used to build my entire agency, all we did was cold outreach. And we generated millions and millions of dollars selling ghostwriting services, is a method called the free consulting method. And what this means is that when you reach out to people, you are not selling something. What you're doing is you are offering free consulting. You are helping them. You are educating them on a problem. There's a little saying that I love, which is, he or she who educates on the problem owns the solution. If I go to you and I sufficiently educate you on a problem, you inherently assume that I am the best person to help you solve that problem. It is default. It is marketing law, right? And I know, because I got pretty good at it, okay? And I also know because it's worked for a lot of the people that we train. So for everyone here, and you're like, that sounds great, but I don't know. I'm telling you, every single day inside PGA, we have another person who's like, hey, I adopted this strategy and I got this really positive response, and I just got on a sales call with them, and now they're paying me $5,000 to go build this educational email course for them. Or now they're paying me $3,000 a month to ghostwrite their weekly newsletter, okay? But I know you probably hear that. You're like, but Dickie, Cole, how am I supposed to know how to do that? How am I supposed to know how to consult people and how to consult each person individually? Anyone want to guess what the answer is?
I have a feeling you have a prompt that's going to blow our mind. So let's see it.
Oh, it's actually pretty easy. It's pretty easy with AI, right? Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to take our social and newsletter outreach prompt. You are an outreach specialist. Check out this prompt. This is the intro. And I want you, okay, so let me explain how this works. I'm going to give you the name of someone I want to pitch, the name and company. And I would like you, AI, to look up their social platforms, look them up on Google, and then fill in the following variables. I basically want you to build me a brief for that lead. And not only do I want you to build me a brief and summarize who they are, but I actually want you to score their social platforms and their website and their company website based on the criteria that I train you on. This is mind-blowing, okay? So I'm saying, my social ghostwriting service is built to help founders achieve these goals. And I would like you to audit their social profiles based on this criteria. So I want you to give them a 0 if they haven't posted anything in the past 30 days. I want you to give them a 1 if they've posted one new thing in the past 15 days. I want a 2 if they've posted 7 new pieces in the past 14 days, right? And then second, I'd like you to audit whether they're actively driving traffic to some sort of opt-in. Do they not have anything? Do they have something, but it's sort of vague? Why am I training AI on this scoring criteria? Because based on the score, that's going to tell us what the primary problem is. What is this lead struggling with? And then let's take it one step further. based on the problems that you identify, AI, I would like you to write me a DM script and an email script to go pitch that person on that specific thing. So congratulations, everyone. You now have basically an outreach intern that is happy to work for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will never complain, ever. Does everyone see? And here are the DM script rules, the email script rules. Here's the template. Here's what I want it to look like. I'm going to give you the lead's name and company name. I'd like you to present the following back. Are you ready? Is everyone here ready to see this thing in action? Because it's the most insane thing we've engineered to date.
I'm ready.
Let's open a new window here. All right. Dickie, is there a founder that we can think of, name and company name, that we could go pitch? Not someone like, that clearly is already doing all the things correctly. Who's someone that we could pitch?
What if we did the Samcart founder? I think it's Scott Moran.
Perfect.
I think it's just double check that's his name, but I'm pretty sure it's Scott Moran.
How do you spell his last name?
Moarn, I think. Scott Moran. Yep. I think. Is that it? Scott Moran, Samcart? Yep.
Or Brian?
Oh, I have it as Scott. No, it's Scott Moran.
All right, let's try that.
Yeah.
Okay, so why, by the way, just for everyone here, why am I in the prompt saying both the name and the company? Because a lot of people have similar names, right? And so you want to make sure that you're looking up the right person, right? Okay, so our prompt errored out here. Cool. So we're looking up Scott Moran. So most people don't know that Claude's freaking out. I'm going to run this in ChatGPT and see what happens.
Either way, we can also mix it up with another person too.
Yeah, most people don't know
there.
that these AI models can now scrape the web. So you can ask it to do pretty much whatever you want, right?
Searching. Boom. There it is.
Cool. So here's social profiles. Notice how there's some things that the person has, doesn't look like they have a personal website. Oftentimes when I'm doing outreach, I like to just do a quick, 1 minute poke around, just double check, make sure that the info is correct. This is cool. It gives me a high level summary of Scott, current role, company highlights, past projects, any features in the news, just like things so that I'm aware of it. Now check out the audit. Scott posts occasionally. LinkedIn posts 1 to 2 years old, some X activity in the last year, but no consistent daily posting pattern.
Yeah, Brian's actually the main one. That's why. Scott's his like brother that's not the CEO. The CEO is Brian. I bet you get better results with that one. But
yeah, but that's the thing. You could pitch Scott too.
Yeah.
Right. So notice, like, what is the value of this? The value is immediately it helps you, the writer, identify what is this person struggling with, right? Do they have a social content, aka a traffic problem? Do they have an opt-in problem that you could maybe build a really valuable opt-in for? Do they have a newsletter problem? Oh, they don't have a consistent newsletter. Their newsletter offer is kind of weak. So this is one of the hardest parts about outreach is being able to identify what are the opportunities, what are the problems, right? And then based on those problems, it goes, well, here's a little DM script and here's an email script. Now, the thing with these scripts is that everyone here is going to have different tastes and different things that they prefer. I want to say it that way. I don't want to say it that way in a DM script and an email script. So the goal here, just so everyone is aware, the goal is not for the output to be 100%, right? Like this DM script. Hey, Scott, quick thought. Noticed are solid, but kind of spread out. By the way, I ghostwrite for founders, so their voice stays everywhere, etc. Want to test a week of daily content. Could prime more DMs and leads if you're down. This is actually a really great DM. But some people here might not want to say if you're down. I'm fine to say that, but maybe you're not. And I think the mistake that people make is they look at something like this and they go, oh, there's 2 words in there that I don't like. I think it's all broken. And that's not what is happening. What's happening is it just gave you 80, 90%. All you have to do is remove 3 words if you don't like it, or change 2 words, right? So the goal isn't 100%. The goal is 80%, and then you can make your little tweaks at the end. Does everyone see how this works? You just immediately know what to consult people on, and all you have to do is just put in their name and their company name, and it's going to spit back a ton of options and a ton of opportunities for you to go DM and email that person. Is that pretty cool?
Pretty good. And so if you were trying to do this on your own, that would probably take 3 or 4 hours just to gather all that information on a person and pre-write the scripts for you. So imagine if now you spent that same 3 or 4 hours just on finding people to then plug into this prompt. If you found 40 people in that 4 hour period, rather than just spending 4 hours on creating one of them, you're basically moving 40 times faster than the average freelance writer. I just want everyone to soak on that fact. By using AI correctly, you are moving and compressing time down extremely quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just the first three. The fourth one, what you do when a client actually says yes to that outreach message, to the offer that you created in the industry that you're well positioned in. Now, what do we do? And Cole,
Yes.
let's take that one.
So this is it, just to really drive this home, right? Even just with these prompts, even with just these decisions, okay, you've changed your positioning. Congratulations. It's not that hard. You can now command a premium. We watch writers do it every single day. We watch beginner writers where English isn't even their first language do this. Okay. Second is you package up a very easy to say yes to, repeatable productized service. This is the key to building efficiencies and to commanding a premium. And then third is you've adopted this free consulting approach to cold outreach. You're not just using the strategy called sit around and wait, right? So then the client says yes. What do you do? What do you do? You're like, wow, a client's paying me $5,000. How am I supposed to deliver on that? Well, it's time to train AI to be your personal ghostwriting assistant. And when you do this, by the way, you can just go have some coffee with your dog and go hang out. Because guess what? AI is doing 80% of the work. It's kind of cool, right? So here are just a couple, whenever we explain this, just a couple faulty beliefs people have. They think, I'm not that good of a writer. I can't charge a premium. It has nothing to do with that. Or I don't have years of experience. I don't have a big audience. No one's going to pay me that. I promise it has nothing to do with that. I've never provided these types of services before. So neither has anyone else. You just start, right? English isn't my first language. It doesn't have to be. AI can help you. I'm not an expert in my industry. I haven't won any awards. Who cares? I always love sharing this. Do you think that I was any different? This is actually what my apartment looked like when I started making 20 grand a month as a ghostwriter. It's literally that's my desk, and then you turn around and that's my bed. And by the way, just so everyone knows, that's not even a real mattress. That's $100 air mattress from Target. And every night I would go to sleep and I would fall into the center of the air mattress, and then I would wake up the next morning and have to blow it back up. Okay? That's a true story. So do you think I was any different, right? No, of course not. And this was before AI. So you go, Dickie, Cole, how am I supposed to fulfill on all these clients? Well, we should all know the answer by now. It's very easy. And you do it using AI. So just in the interest of time, I just want to show you, we're giving you all three of these prompts: short form social content generator, weekly newsletter generator, and comment engagement generator, which helps you create engaging comments on other people's posts using AI. I'm just going to show you how one of these works, okay? But you can play with all of them. So here's the social content generator. Look at how long this thing is. I'm training it on every piece of knowledge that we have accumulated over the past 10 years writing engaging short form content. We're still going. Everyone see this? We're still going.
I think that's the longest prompt I've ever seen. I'll be honest.
This is what we like to call a mega prompt. So here, I'm going to drop this in and I'm going to train ChatGPT or Claude or whatever on this. Now, all I have to do is give it the topic, and it's going to generate a week's worth of social content for me based on all of the proven formats that we've seen work the best with short form social content. So anyone want to give me a quick industry or a topic? We'll just breeze through this. Drop in the chat. You want a week's worth of free social content. Here you go. Give me a topic.
Otherwise, we'll reuse the biohacking.
Scar camouflage tattooing. Love it.
All right, here it is. Let's see. So for
Most people
content,
think scars are, this is awesome. Physically, maybe, but emotionally, that's where scar camouflage tattooing changes the story. It doesn't erase the past, but it reclaims the skin, reframes the memory, and restores the power. That's what healing can look like. Depending on who the client is and depending on their voice, that actually might be an awesome post, right? What, how, why? Scar camouflage tattoos are more than aesthetics, they're transformation. Here's how it works. And then maybe if you have a word, if you have the space in the word count, you could have a final little sentence there if you want. You don't need it. Here's a little listicle. 5 myths about scar camouflage tattooing. Those myths. It's art, it's science, and for many, it's a second chance. Cool. Old approach to scars. Cover with clothing, hide in photos, pretend they don't exist. New approach. Match tone and texture, honor the journey, turn healing into wearable art. Serious don't have to be erased or rewritten. That's pretty cool. Like, these are all great social posts. We might tweak 1 or 2 words here or there, right? Let's do the same thing, topic for affiliate marketing. So what would have taken you 2 hours, you now have 80% done in 15 seconds, right? Most people think affiliate marketing is easy money. It's not, it's leverage. That's an awesome sentence, right? What, how, why? Want to make affiliate marketing work in 2025? Here's how. Cool. Listicle, 7 affiliate mistakes beginners make. Yep. Fix these, earn more. If someone posted this on X, you wouldn't know that AI wrote that. Does everyone see how powerful this is? And it's not because we just said write really great social posts. It's because we said write social posts in these formats based on things that we know work. Here are the attributes of each format. Here are examples that reinforce each format. And we do the same thing for newsletters. It can write an entire 1,000 word newsletter. Look at how long this prompt is. This thing's a beast. And the same thing with comments. So just to recap, right? These are all the things that we've given you. We're going to give you all these prompts for free. And you can go play with them. You can copy paste them. You can integrate them into work with your clients. You can make yourself more efficient. You could use this for yourself. You could use these to create your own social content.
pretty good. All right, y'all. Hope this was helpful. Keep leveling up, keep applying this information, and I'll see everyone soon.
Sounds
Peace.
good.